Hello, everybody. Pedro here. Hope you're doing well. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about something that it's very important, and a lot of people make either a big deal out of this, or they are blocked, or they basically overlook this issue, which has to do with niching. And niching is something that is super, super important. I understand that there's people that say niche is not very important, like to be super clear on it because you are the niche as a coach, for example. But I don't share their, I respect it, but I don't share that opinion. And the reason why I don't share their opinion, it's exactly the reason why I'm recording this video. First of all, we made over $1 million in sales. It was exactly because we were so specific about the people that we were targeting that we were able to do that. Otherwise, we won't be able to. Now, what is this thing that I'm talking about, and what is the difference of what I'm talking about here? Well, niching, in the way that I see it, has two dimensions. There's horizontal and there's vertical. And we're going to talk about this in this video. Most people, what they do is they define the niche that they want to serve horizontally, meaning the industry that they want to serve, the demographics, basically where people are in the world, what age, etc., and what they want to help them with, what their clients or prospects want to achieve. Okay, that's a start, but that's not enough. Why? Because although you are targeting a specific industry, it's too broad, just what you define in these three buckets. It's too broad. There's many different versions of many different people within this industry, within the demographics that you're trying to target, and even with the problems that you are helping them as a coach. There's many different versions of this, and that's why that's not enough. But it's a dimension, without a doubt, which is the horizontal dimension. Now, there's a different dimension, which is the vertical, which has to do with where are these people in their stage, right? There are people that are just starting out of solving the problem that you want um, help them to solve. Basically, they are in survival mode. There's the next stage of that, which is they have some traction, perhaps. So different stage, meaning different group of people. There are other staging, which is basically that type of people that used to have something that was working and now it's not working anymore. So they're definitely not beginners. They had some traction, but something moved along the way. And again, they have specific needs because of that. Or there's like the next stage of this, which is people that are experiencing growth and they want, speed, right? They want to achieve even more. Things are having momentum and they want to basically take advantage of that, right? So this is the vertical dimension. But again, even if you only have what I said and the three types of definitions of the niching on the horizontal stage, it's still not enough because there's way more stuff that you need to know about, like the person, the people that you want to serve. And it's within that mentality of an audience of one that you're going to speak to the people that are really resonating with what you're trying to tell them. Because if it's not really defined and if it's broad or somewhat broad, people will not connect because there's many different versions of different people within, for example, the same industry, right? And I just mentioned like these two dimensions. But what are the other things that I'm talking about here to really define this audience of one? Well, I'm talking about things like psychographics, meaning what are their values, what are their beliefs, what are their lifestyle, what are their personalities. That's like another thing that is very important because that defines a specific type of people. Another thing is what are for example, the three core areas that they have problems with. Again, paired with the vertical, definition of the niche, this means many different things. Another thing is what are their misconceptions about whether or not they can achieve what they want to achieve. What are the language that they use? What are the terms that they use? Because think about this, the way that you speak, the terms that you use may, just by itself, may or may not resonate with the people that you are trying to speak. If you're using terms that they don't use, they're not going to listen to you. They're not going to listen to the message. As valuable as it can be, your personality, your posture, your language is not the same as them. So they're not going to engage, basically, right? But there's many other things. For example, what are the things that makes them sad? What are the things that makes them happy and excited and ignited? Very important, because this defines, it's another layer of defining the ideal person. Another thing, for example, is what are their frustrations? The 3 to 5 top frustrations, for example. Again, another layer of defining. So you want to go on a tunnel defining more, really the people that you want to target, because then it defines an audience that will resonate with your message once again. But one of the most important things, for example, about this is, how do they make a decision? How do they think about making a decision to solve their problems? Because if you know this, if you could tap into this, then everything else becomes easier. Your message is going to really land. It's not only about this, but it's about like all these things that I'm talking about. So these are just a few examples of why niching is important. Not only picking up like the industry that you want to work with, but really drill down after that, really drill down into exactly what is the exact person that you are trying to reach out. Because once that is defined, then you will reach a lot of other people that are in the same situation. And then instead of like speaking with just one person, but that's your thinking process, because you need to think about that. I'm targeting one person, but there's a lot of other people that are very similar to that person. So you are establishing, your audience in this way, in a very defined way. And that's exactly the reason of why some people will hear you, some people will not hear you. Okay. And that's why this is so, so important. And I can't stress this enough. It was exactly because we were super defining like our niche, that this is exactly what made us achieve what we've achieved. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible. I'm telling you this like with full certainty. Full certainty. A niche well defined will make your message land, whereas a niche not well defined potentially will make your message feel flat. It will feel and fall flat, because again, it's not defined enough. It needs to be very specific. And one of the things that I made that I think is going to help you is, I've made a GPT that will help you define your niche in all these directions by you just answering some questions, 3 to 5 to 10 questions, depending on your niche. And the tool will spit out like a full report, 8, 9 pages of all the things and way more that we talked about right now, that will help you define your messaging, that will help you define even the way that you serve your clients, that will help you the way that you make your content, because you know how they speak, the things that are resonant with, the things that are not resonant with, etc. And so this is super, super helpful. And that's what's going to make everything else fly. And this, by the way, this is not only for people that are trying to define the niche. This applies to everybody that is, whether starting out or established, because things change. And you may think that you are, talking with a certain number of people, and then things change. And, turns out that you are actually not talking with the right people that you want to talk to, right? If you want to have this tool, all you have to do is just reach out to me on Instagram. I'll leave the link below, and just comment enrich, and I will send you that tool for free. All right. So I hope you like it, guys, and I'll see you next one. Bye bye.